guys, welcome back to the Review Network. So today I want to talk about, is Beyonce and Drake changing the music industry yet again? Now, as we all know, we've seen someone like Beyonce who has changed the rules of the industry. Not even just the rules, but just how things are being released and how things are being dropped. We've seen this happen. And so I'm just curious: is the music industry using Drake and Beyonce to shift genres? And what I mean by that is, hip hop has been the number one genre for the last 10 years, right? 10 years hip hop has prevailed on the charts. Standing the test of time and outselling a lot of pop songs, right? That's amazing, in my opinion. I think that's really amazing. Hip hop has come a long way to be a number one genre. And I just feel like, although I love hip hop, I do. And I would also like to add street rap. I guess you would consider it like a subgenre to hip hop. It's also dominating, and it has been dominating for like the last 3 years. I would say 3 or 4 years. And a combination of that would be like TikTok music, but that also comes from like a lot of hip hop, pop type songs. But overall, hip hop has been dominating, and that's really great. But the sounds are so similar. These last couple of years, we get like a couple good songs that really just be like, oh, I really like this. But I just remember a time where there would be so many artists coming out, and there would be so many like different hits that just could stand the test of time. And I think that's what I love the most. I love the most about the 2010s era was just that there were so many hip hop songs that were just really standing the test of time. Where now hip hop music is just like, you listen to it for like a week and then you're just like, oh, okay, what's new, what's next, and it just doesn't. It's just not what it used to be. And so now I say this all to say, well, what else could the music industry bring to the table? I mean, I feel like so many artists have done pretty much everything. Music in general is quite boring, honestly. Pop music, every genre is just really not just as thrilling anymore as it used to be. There's a lot of genres that's died out because it continuously stayed the same. It never shifted. It never gave us different elements to work with, a different artist, a different image, a different look. It just kept one same type of sound and image to the category, to the genre. And I think that's what made a lot of genres kind of fall off a little bit, but I still think hip hop has the ability to withstand the test of time. And this is why I feel like it's because, as a hip hop artist, as a rapper or rap influence type of sounds, I feel like you can pretty much jump on anything if you're skilled enough, right? And house music would be a great genre to try to get a hold of. We see hip hop artists jump in every genre, and we have seen hip hop artists do house music. If you guys don't know what house music is, by the way, house music is electronic dance. It's disco, it's soul, it's funk, it's jazz, and then there's pop elements into house music, right? And so we've seen artists like Drake, have a very successful song with house music, and we've seen it done many times before with other artists, but not as but we see it like once every blue moon throughout the years, but not just consistently for an entire year of just different sounds with house music. Think about this for a second. House music has some really popular genres, and a lot of different instrumentals that haven't been touched. House music usually doesn't have artists that touches, the sounds. That touches the instrumentals. Is usually just instrumentals sometimes. Now, I do feel like, I would love to see some of the greats, like, touch the some instrumental sounds. Like, that would be amazing. And now we've seen someone like Drake and Beyonce do it. I want more, in my opinion. A lot of people critiqued Drake and Beyonce's project harshly. There was a lot of mixed reviews, honestly, though. But in my opinion, there was a lot of good songs on Drake's album, and I really loved Beyonce's single. I thought they did really well introducing, not even introducing, but I think attempting to popularize this genre, and I feel like it is going to work. Drake album is going #1, and Beyonce new release is already like the #1 new release right now. Like, already they're making a big impact just on the first 24 hours of both projects being released, right? I feel like this can be like a big push for house music. We've seen artists like Dua Lipa and Doja Cat who uses house music as large influences on their music. We've seen that, right? And we love that, but they can't be the only people using this style, because there's so many different instrumentals to be worked with this genre. So many that hasn't been touched before, right? Why haven't people been doing this? Well, I just feel like it's difficult. It's a difficult genre to just to create something meaningful and catchy all at the same time on there. If you're a true artist, you care about your art first, not just if it's going to be a hit. You care about your art first. And in my opinion, both Drake and Beyonce did that on house music. Like, lyrically, I don't care about all the other stuff. I'm about the art. And lyrically, and then just how they, aligned everything up in the songs, it was done very well, very well. I loved both, and I loved it because it just sounded so crisp. It sounded so beautiful. The way they both used house music instrumentals was perfect, in my opinion. It was perfect, and I guarantee you, a lot of you guys are just like trying to throw it away because it's a new sound, and a lot of people aren't here for change. But just like TikTok came in and took over, the music industry, and a lot of people was like, music is watered down, and it was. But the point is, I feel like there's a house music is coming, and there's nothing you guys can do to stop it. It's going to thrive on top of the charts, and I feel like it's gonna hold some heavy hitters on top of the charts. This is my opinion. We already see people like Dua Lipa and Doja Cat already use these sounds in their music. Now we have legends like Drake and Beyonce doing this. I'm sure other artists is going to follow behind now that they've introduced this. Like, this is where we're headed. This is the direction we're headed for our music. I'm sure other people are going to be like, okay, here we go again. The same way, and let's not act like this hasn't been done before. There was a moment where in the 2007, 2008, or I would just say from 2005 to 2010, there was a large spark in rock pop music, a large spark in that, right? And it lasted a really long time. But what was hip hop artists to do? Well, they adjusted, they adapted. Some wasn't able to because they were one dimensional, and that's okay. That doesn't take away their talent, as rappers. But as an artist overall, yeah, sorry. You got to be able to stand the test of time. You got to be able to adjust and adapt to change. And this is where I say people like Drake, Nicki, and Wayne, or this is why they still continuously thrive, because they have the capability and the artistry to shift. They have that ability as rappers to shift. And I feel like rap will continuously prevail but only if you have talent, because now they're putting you on, they're giving you guys challenges. Like we need different sounds. We can't continuously have the same sound. We're tired of the TikTok songs. We're tired of the 1-2 step raps. People want something different. They're looking for something different, and I think Drake and Beyonce just introduced us to the new sound of the music industry, at least for a while. At least, I'm gonna say, at least for the next 3 to 4 years, they can really milk this. A lot of artists can really milk this. There's a lot to do. Think about that right for a second. House music subgenres are electronic dance, disco, soul music, funk, jazz, pop elements. We've seen these elements done before. We've seen these subgenres being used before, but not at its full potential. I listen to a lot of instrumentals. I do a lot of writing myself, so I listen to a lot of different instrumentals. And there's so many underground beat makers that has some amazing types of different types of instrumentals that I've never heard, not even once. Hit the radio, hit any streaming platform, never. There's so many different sounds to still experiment with that artists have not done. So yes, the music industry is currently, it's quite boring to me, in my opinion, right now, but I feel like it has the potential to bounce back really large, like it really make an impact this time, like with their heavy hitters that they know they have. And there's only a few artists, as far as from my era, that has really just like been able to stand the test of time. And I don't know if they're okay. Well, first I would like to say people like Drake, Taylor, Wayne, Jay-Z, Rihanna, Nicki, Adele, Katy Perry, Demi Lovato, Beyonce, Kanye. These artists, and Justin Bieber, I would like to add Justin Bieber. These artists, they've been able to stand the test of time because of their talent. They are truly talented. And I would also like to add, Ariana Grande. I'm just thinking of different artists as I'm going. But these artists have been able to stand the test of time because they've changed when the music industry changed, but they didn't change themselves. This is just them being talented. They're able to shift just enough to continuously be them. Their fans still recognizes them, all while they're able to adjust or adapt to a new sound. And even when they're not adjusting or adapting to a new sound, because they don't always do that. The reason why they are in the positions they're in, because they are also leading the pack in those changes. Sometimes they're also the reasons why the industry is changing, because they've changed it. So that's just something to think about. And when I think about artists now that might be able to follow in those artists' footsteps, you guys are not gonna like my answer. Oh my God, you're not gonna like my answer. You're not gonna like my answer. But Doja Cat. Yeah, and I stopped there, as you noticed. I didn't keep going. I didn't say nobody else. I could say other artists. I really could say other artists. I could, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when it comes to being an artist, in my opinion, that's the music, that's the performance, that's the visuals, that's the business. When it comes to these elements, Doja Cat is the only person that's standing the test of time with her music. We're still listening to Hot Pink, for God's sakes. We're still listening to that shit. Some people are still listening to Amala. Like, this is what I mean. Like, standing the test of time, and I can't think of any other new artist that is doing that, in my opinion, and performing on a legendary level, like performing and visuals, and then investments, and then different business moves. There's nobody else doing that. But I know you guys are like, what does this all have to... The point of this entire video is that the music industry is shifting. And I feel like And I say this because of the songs that Beyonce and Drake dropped. I say this because of that. You know, this was completely different for them, in my opinion. Yes, we've seen Drake do One Dance, but a whole album of house music, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is. This man dropped a whole album of house music. Drake, yeah, dropped a whole album of house music, right? That's not just because he was in the mood. No, there's a shift happening. And then when people critiqued it, he followed up with, you know, something along the lines of "you'll see," or "you guys will understand now, but just wait," yada yada yada. And then Beyonce drops her single, the house music. The industry is going to shift, and I'm just curious who is going to be able to stand the test of time when it does. Now, you guys, I went on. I've been rambling for the longest, but I had a lot to say. And when I heard this, I was just like, and I saw the opinions of other people. I was just like, I just really want to speak about this for a second, you know. And I really want you guys' opinion. So please tell me in the comments below. How do you feel? You know, do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you guys for listening to the Review Network.